Have you ever found yourself in this situation? You're unhappy at work, you put together a resume, and maybe start putting some feelers out there. Maybe you're feeling underappreciated or underpaid. Maybe it's perhaps that you got passed up for promotion that you thought you deserved, or maybe it's that you're just completely overloaded. So you put some feelers out there to see what else is on the open market. Maybe even a recruiter contacts you and you decide to talk to them about the opportunity. So you go through the interviewing process, and before you know it, you land an offer for a brand new position. As you inform your current company of the situation, they suddenly scramble, and before you know it, you have a counter offer. They're promising you all sorts of things like a new job title and a bigger compensation package. So what do you do in that situation? But as a corporate recruiter, I'm going to share with you why you should never accept a counter offer. Hey everybody, it's Brian from the Life After Layoff, and today we're going to talk about why you should never accept a counter offer. Now, I'm a corporate recruiter with over 20 years of experience interviewing and hiring thousands of people into some of the world's most respected and well-known companies. If you're looking for more videos on career advice, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you've ever found yourself in a situation where you're deciding between taking a new opportunity or accepting a counteroffer, it can be a stressful situation, trying to pick what the best opportunity is. I've made a lot of offers to people, and I've also had a lot of offers rejected because the candidate went off and accepted a counter. So I've got some real life knowledge and some statistics to back up my position. I've seen it time and time again. I offer a candidate a role, and then they turn around and accept a counter from their current employer. And in almost every circumstance, within a year, they are reaching back out to me, they're back on the market, and they are looking for a new position. But again, I have real life experience with this, but I suggest you do your own research. Search for the percentage of people that actually stick around after accepting a counter offer. Because according to LinkedIn, an overwhelming majority, now we're talking 80% or more, of people who accept counters won't be with their company after 6 months. And even more staggering, 93% won't be with their current company after a year. So if you're considering accepting that counteroffer, you might want to think long and hard about it before you move forward. So why shouldn't you accept a counteroffer? Because the reasons why you were looking in the first place will still exist. If you had a bad boss, you're still going to have a bad boss, or you're still going to be working with that bad boss. If the company culture is poor, you're still going to have a company culture issue. If the work-life balance is an issue, you're probably still going to have that. The commute stinks, it's still going to stink afterward. And if the benefits are terrible, they're still going to be terrible after you accept the counter. Now, if you've gotten to the point where you actually would consider another offer, you're probably doing it for a good reason. And you should keep your options open. Even if you're employed, you are still a free agent, and the cold hard reality is you need to be selfish with your career. And listen, being selfish isn't a bad thing. If you're not looking out for yourself, nobody will be. And let's face it, companies lay off long-tenured employees with little to no warning. Leaving a bad boss, a poor work culture, or a dying industry isn't just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do for your career. So that's the main reason why you shouldn't accept a counter. But there's other reasons too. You need to ask yourself, why are they countering you now? Because essentially they were undervaluing you until you decided to leave or threatened to leave, and now they want to do something about it. Does that mean that they took you for granted or maybe even took advantage of you? Or did you catch them completely off guard with no contingency plan, and by dangling that carrot, they're buying themselves time in order to replace you? And not to mention, your relationships are not going to be the same. And now they're likely searching for your replacement, a way to transfer the knowledge or put together a contingency plan in case you do leave. So effectively what you've done is made yourself redundant, because now that you've broadcast your intention to leave, your boss is going to know that they need a contingency plan for you. Offering you the counter shows that they were completely unprepared. But make no mistake, they're not going to be caught off guard again, which is exactly why you should be concerned about layoffs and other adverse employment decisions. Because you've already shown that you're dissatisfied, you're going to be labeled as somebody that's not long-term committed to the business goals. So when the company hits a rough patch, who do you think they're going to look at first? Especially if you have a higher salary to go with it. Which is another thing to take into consideration when you're looking at a counter. Were they not paying you correctly to begin with, or were they undervaluing your skill set? If they gave you a promotion, why didn't they give you promotion before? If you were passed up for promotion, why was that? In some cases, people are so effective at their job that the boss doesn't want to lose them in that role, so they get locked into it. And an astute rock star level employee is not going to put up with that for very long. So why did it take threatening to leave for them to finally recognize you? Either they became complacent or they took advantage of you. Either way, they looked at you as somebody that was not a flight risk. Even if you were promised a promotional opportunity or expanded responsibility, Think about how your long-term career prospects will be affected. Will they keep looking at you as somebody that they can count on to continue moving throughout the organization? I've seen cases like this before. You announce that you're leaving, but you accept the counter, and now people are looking at you differently. Senior leaders may believe that you're not as dedicated as you once were and will pass on you for future promotional opportunities. So in a lot of cases, the role that you were promised is just to keep you happy for the time being. And let's revisit the workplace conditions. Sure, it might get better for a period of time. There's usually a honeymoon period, but eventually that's going to wear off too. And when it wears off, and it always wears off, you're going to have to deal with a lot of the same issues that were there before. So if working conditions are the business environment where some of the motivators for you to look for a new opportunity, they're probably still going to exist. And if your business is going through a rough patch and you're worried about overall stability, it's probably not going to change either. Even if you got promoted into a new role with a new boss, you're still going to have to work alongside the old boss, the person that you effectively threatened to quit on. Again, I've seen this firsthand. I actually had a person driving across country in a moving truck. They got called halfway to their destination, got a counteroffer from their previous employer, turned the truck around, and went back home again. They informed us that they were taking the counter, and we told them they were making a big mistake. And not 6 months later, I get a phone call from that candidate telling me, you know what, you were right, it was a big mistake. So if you get a counteroffer, congratulations, you have a difficult decision to make. But I'd advise thinking long and hard about whether it's really going to help your career in the long run. It's sort of like an old relationship. Look back on it fondly, but remember that it ended for a reason. And look forward to new beginnings. Your career is going to thank you for it. If you're looking for a new opportunity and you need some help, that's actually what I specialize in. I've got a website called alifeafterlayoff.com. It's loaded with tips and tricks on how to land your dream job. Make sure you check it out. I've also got some training courses. One is called Resume Rocket Fuel. It's designed to teach you how to write your own resume, one that actually gets noticed by recruiters. And if you need help on your actual job search itself, consider looking at the Ultimate Layoff Bootcamp. It is 7 hours of dedicated training on how to get through the entirety of a major corporation's hiring process, all from a recruiter's perspective. You're not going to want to miss it. Appreciate you watching today. Good luck with the counteroffer, and we'll see you on the next one.